With the release of Mario Kart World just over a month away, we still have a bit of time to talk about the game before it actually releases. At this point, I feel like that everyone has done videos on absolutely everything to do with this game, so I figured to be a little bit different than the crowd, why not take every track and give each of them a character to represent them. With that being said, I'm the biggest knob on YouTube, Crescendo, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel as it helps me out a ton. Last video, we got a total of 1 new subscriber to the channel, so let's see if we can top it with this one. While you're at it, if you want to talk to me and others about all things Nintendo, consider joining the Chris Discord server. The link is down in the description. No, obviously we gotta start with the Mushroom Cup, but to be more specific, Mario Bros. Circuit. When it comes to this track, there's honestly a couple of characters that come to mind, being Mario and Luigi obviously, but I'm going to give this track to Luigi. The reason I'm not giving this track to Mario is because later on there is a track that I feel belongs to Mario more, so instead I chose Luigi because honestly in this game he doesn't really have a track to call his own, and just the fact that this is called Mario Bros. Circuit and not Mario Circuit kind of makes me feel that both brothers could represent this, but since like I said Mario has a track later on, this track goes to Luigi. Crown City in the Mushroom Cup, so the day variant of this track, because this is one of the 2 tracks in the game that has 2 separate variants, I'm gonna give this one to Daisy. Honestly, when it comes to my reasoning for this, I don't really have a reasoning. There's just no other tracks in this game, besides I guess one that I gave to another character that I feel fits Daisy, and it's called Crown City. She wears a crown, so I think that that's enough of a reason. Whistle Stop Summit is another one that I had a hard time coming up with a character for, so I just kind of gave it to Spike because, I don't know, something about Spike makes me feel like that he would drive a train. So because I don't have any better reason or just another character in mind for this track, Whistle Stop Summit goes to Spike. The final track of this cup is thankfully a lot easier with DK Spaceport, as, I mean, this track is based on the original Donkey Kong game. It has to go to Donkey Kong. Moving into the Flower Cup, we start off with Desert Hills, and this one goes to Pokey. This is the other track that I was like, maybe this could go to Daisy, as there's a little bit of a Sarasaland vibe to this one, but since Pokey is a stage hazard in this one, I feel that he represents this track a bit more because on top of it, it is a desert track, he is a desert enemy, so it just makes sense. Following that, we have Shy Guy Bazaar, and this one's pretty self-explanatory as well. This goes to Shy Guy because, well, it's Shy Guy Bazaar. Shy Guy's in the name of this track. The next one is also pretty easy with it being Wario Stadium. Who's it gonna be? Waluigi? No. This one goes to Wario. Obviously, Wario is the face of this track. It's called Wario Stadium. And while there is another Wario track later on, that instead I feel goes to another character. So Wario gets to represent Wario Stadium. And finishing off the Flower Cup, we got Airship Fortress. And I was between Bowser Jr. and Rocky Wrench for this one because Bowser Jr. is the boss of the airship levels in New Super Mario Bros. And Rocky Wrenches appear in these levels, but I decided to give this track to Rocky Wrench as I feel that when it comes to airships, I feel that Rocky Wrenches are more associated with them when compared to Bowser Jr. Moving into the Star Cup now, we have DK Pass, and the 2 that came to mind right away was Donkey Kong because obviously it's called DK Pass, and Shy Guy because there's snowboarding Shy Guys in this track, but then I remembered that in the original, the snowmen were obstacles in it, so because Shy Guy and Donkey Kong already have tracks, this track belongs to Snowman. Starview Peak, or should I say Starview Sleep because it's based on Mario Galaxy, obviously goes to Rosalina because she kind of represents that cringe game, so might as well give the representative of a cringe game to a cringe track. Next up is Sky High Sundae, which I gave to Toadette, and honestly the only reason I gave this track to Toadette is because she has an ice cream costume in this game. There's literally no other reason why I gave her this track. And of course, finishing off this cup, we have Wario Shipyard, or Wario Galleon for those of you that live in Europe, and this one goes to Fishbone. He's present throughout the track, and he's kind of in the theming of the track, with a couple parts of the track having the Fishbone enemy on it, so I just think it makes sense that Fishbone represents the Wario Shipyard. Starting off the show cup is Koopa Troopa Beach, and obviously, as the name implies, this goes to Koopa Troopa. Enough said. Far Away Oasis follows that, and I give this track to Conqueror because out of all the characters in this roster, the only one that really fits this track theming I feel is Conqueror. As in the track, there seems to be other animals that you would associate with a savannah, so Conqueror being an ostrich just makes sense for this track. The second version of Crown City, this one taking place at night, goes to Pauline, as when it comes to Crown City, I kind of get New Donk City vibes from this track, and with the New Donk City Festival taking place at night in Super Mario Odyssey, I just think that this track taking place at night as well just kind of has Pauline DNA written all over it. And the cup finisher is Peach Stadium, this being the first of the 2 variants, and while we don't really know about the 2 variants so far, I give this one to Baby Peach because I just feel that the cup the other one is placed in fits Peach better as it's further into the game, so just giving this track to Baby Peach I guess kind of makes sense. The Banana Cup starts off with another Peach track being Peach Beach, and I give this one to Cataquack as cataquacks are seen throughout this track, at least in the original, and I think in this version as well. So it just makes sense that Cataquack, despite the track not being named after him, just makes sense as the representative of this track. Salty Speedway follows, and I give this one to Birdo as there's a Birdo kind of statue that's present in this track, and because we haven't really seen much gameplay about this track, this statue being kind of one of the only significant things we know about this track makes me give this to Birdo. Next up is Dino Jungle, and I give this track to Yoshi as he is a dinosaur, so it just kind of makes sense that he would represent the dino track. And finishing off this cup is the Great ? Ruins, which is a name I really hate, but whatever. And this track goes to Coin Coffer, as usually ? blocks give you coins, and the fact that Coin Coffer is an enemy that's based around coins just kind of make these two go hand in hand. With the Leaf Cup, we start off with Cheep Falls, and this obviously goes to Cheep because of the naming. And with Dandelion Depths, I give this one a Sting Bee. This might be a stretch, but it's because bees like flowers. This is a track based on dandelions, so putting a bee character with a track based on flowers just kind of makes sense. Boo Cinema obviously goes to King Boo, as this is the only ghost track in this game, and while this could go to Peepa, I just feel like that giving this track to King Boo over Peepa just makes more sense. Rounding off this cup is Dry Bones Burnout, and obviously this goes to Dry Bones, my favorite Mario Kart character of all time, as he's literally in the name of the track. The Landing Cup starts off with Moo Moo Meadows, and who else would this track go to besides the cow? Choco Mountain is next, and I give this track to Charge and Chuck because he's present on the icon for this track, and it seems like that Charge and Chucks are gonna appear in this track, so I figure that he might as well be the representative for this track. Toad's Factory, of course, goes to Toad, as he's in the name of the track, and the same thing can be said about Bowser's Castle, as this track goes to Bowser for the same reasons as to why Toad's Factory goes to Toad. And for the final cup, the Special Cup, we start out with Acorn Heights, and this goes to Wiggler, as this seems to be kind of a tree-based track, so I think that Wiggler being here, being a very nature-based character, just makes a lot of sense. Following Acorn Heights, we got Mario Circuit. Obviously, this goes to Mario. Mario's name is in the name of the track, and it's based on the first Mario Circuit tracks from the first Mario Kart game, so I think Mario just makes sense here. Peach Stadium in the Special Cup goes to Peach because, like I said earlier, I feel like that this track fits Peach more than the previous one did, which is why I gave it to Baby Peach. So yeah, Peach Stadium being named after Peach obviously makes this one go to Peach. And for the final track, Rainbow Road, we don't know anything about this version of the track, but due to the characters we have in the roster of this game, I unfortunately have to give this one to Baby Rosalina, as much as I hate that, because when it comes to cosmic characters, Baby Rosalina is the only one left, and that's really unfortunate. But there you have it, that's every track in Mario Kart World represented by a character on the roster. If there's any characters you feel should represent a track over another that I didn't choose, please let me know down in the comments what track and which character you choose, as I'm interested to see if there's any conflicting opinions on my picks here. That's all I have for this video though, but if you want to see another video by me, there's a video on screen now where I go over how Mario Kart World could change Mario Kart forever, and I think you'll enjoy that video. With that being said, I'm the biggest nub on YouTube, Christendo signing off, and as always, goodbye, Nub Nation.